Hey everyone, this is Blaze the Firewolf. This is Roundup part 121, gold, silver, and more. 6 hunts, 6 times I went to Prospect Park. Man, I dug so many twisty tops, it was ridiculous. But you gotta dig at them all. You never know. You could find something extraordinary. And I did at least 4 times, few of the hunts, I found some really good stuff. But I think each and every hunt I found something. So I'm going to start off with the not so good hunt, which was the 6th one. It's decent, but not extraordinary. Got your copper wire, some brass scrap. Little ornate piece of brass, probably off of maybe some furniture. Can't tell 1000%. It is brass though, no doubt. I've already dated this before, but this is a first because it's that. It is solid brass. Some material still attached to it on the inside. I'm amazed that it's not, it's like almost fully there. Not completely. It's quite mangled in the back, but I already dated this before, but it was like the top one, and it was steel between 1894 and 1943. Though I pretty much think this actually could be an older one because of it being all solid brass. My guess, it probably could be around 1920 earlier, at least pre-1920, probably. This might be a discussion for or an embezzle something for a light switch, or it could be a rim to a picture frame. It's an ornate piece of brass for sure, but what it is, I don't know. It's quite banged up a bit, but Got 3 22 shell casings, 1 long one and 2 shorties, 2 gears off of a pocket watch or some type of watch. They're both brass. 2 rivets, nothing on them, but they are brass. Maybe someone could tell me what this is. It's brass, but very flexy and very brittle. I have a few guesses. The end of a smoking apparatus, like an old-fashioned smoke pipe. Or it could be the bottom part of an old cane. As I was cleaning the inside, material came out of it, and I think it was wood. This could also be, part off of an old pen, maybe an old fountain pen or a pen, or even a paintbrush. No writing on it, but it does have really cool petals, flower designs going around the edges, so it is decorative. Maybe someone could tell me exactly what it is. This is a first. UMC company number 12. Actually, I did what I could to come close. It's squashed really bad where the word is, but I've been able to confirm that it's a challenge. They only manufactured this between 1901 and 1907, and it's a first. It's in horrible shape though. It's very mashed in and you can't really make out challenge, but at least you can make out some of the words on it, the letters. But that's what it says. I looked really hard too. 93 cents in clad. Not very productive or anything. This might be one part of maybe an oil lamp. Actually, it could still be like a bezel for a doorknob, but I doubt it because of the size. Plus, it's quite small if it is. I think it could be another part to an oil lamp at a guess, because it actually is brass. Believe it or not, this is a first. I've seen a metal detectorist dig this on YouTube, and I've got the confirmation. This is a handle part to the top of a handle off of a sword. The blade would have come through here. This is like part of the handle part. The handle would have been you know, at an extensive length. I even hear that there's a switch where you can take this off or take the blade out, take the sword apart, but that's exactly what it is. The top or piece off of a handle off of a katana sword, or a sword or some type. So that's a bucket list. I'm not going to throw that away because, well, somebody threw it away because they didn't want it, but I'll keep it. Sure, it might be junk to some people, but to me, I still want it. So that's my weaker hunt, plus a bucket list because it's a first. It's steel on the inside, steel in the center, and the rim part is brass. Kind of like a Mexican coin, but it's actually French. My first ever French coin. It's supposed to be 10 francs, 1988. Liberté, Esselite, Fraternite. FR or RF with an angel on it. I have a guess on what the RF means, Royal Francs, but I'm probably wrong. But bucket list, first time finding a French coin. Find a lot of foreign coins, and that's a bucket list. Now we'll go to this hunt here because it also wasn't super amazing. I only got 93 cents on that one. All the clad total, $4.51, counting all of it. So, yeah. If I can't remember exactly how much here, you know, I think I counted once. $1.01. Yep, $1.01 in clad. 5 memorials, 1 zinc, you know, your usual. This is probably off of an old garter clip. Unfortunately, I can't make out any writing on it. It is too far gone. But it was underneath an orange tree. I think it was about 3 inches. So, yeah. Piece of lead. Probably the end of a bullet that smashed and hit something. But it is lead. 4-hole button. Not old. Just aluminium. My oldest dog tag that I've ever found. Rabies vaccination tag from 1955. You can make out kind of the 1955 at the bottom and the animal's name. It's made out of tin because of the corrosion maybe, and it is aluminium. It's light. You could see some of the copper scrap right up here. And I think this one's brass. Tip of a rifle bullet. First, brass. A rivet, no writing on it. I was about to throw this away or throw it in the scrap pile until I got a better look at it. And you know what it is? It's a thermometer. Sure, it's all waxed and banged up in horrible condition, but yes, that is a thermometer. You can see kind of the lines, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Starts as, then it's a 0, 10, 20, 30. That's not trash, that's for sure. And that's a cool piece of history. A wick off of an old oil lamp. I don't know where the spinner is, but I'm going to look hard for it this coming November when I come back to Prospect. But yes, that is a wick off of an old oil lamp. Lead bullets. I've dated these two already in my dating my shotgun head stamps video. 1901 number 12 repeater. 2 of them. Probably off of a different gun caliber. Dated between 1901 and 1920. So, yeah. This I've already dated before. It's a Winchester number 12 repeater. I think I've already dated before between 1901 to 1920. Or actually, I should actually check again. Nope. I was wrong on that. Between 1896 and 1938. I'm guessing it could be early 1900s at a guess, so it's still super old. So that wasn't a too exciting hunt. It wasn't bad. None of the hunts are bad. You know, some hunts are better than others. And then we go to this one here. Now, this one, I think I've counted 57 cents. The back part of a harmonica reed. This is where the pins would have went into. Very mutilated, mangled spoon. The handle broke off when I tried to get it out. Typical. This is a smashed shotgun head stamp, but it's a first. 1901 liter. Dated between the same, 1901 to 1920, so it's not uber old, but it's old. This one, 1901, number 12, new rival. Dated the same. It's a 16 gauge. Pretty good stopping power. Still has material on it. Same age, between 1901 and 1920. Now, I used CLR to get the crust off of this, and it's a pocket watch. Pocket knife. Very ornately designed pocket knife. I'm not going to take the blade out. I'm going to leave it like this. It had a copper loop part, which would have been maybe a handle or a clip that broke off. Still got some gold shine to it. Very ornately designed. No writing on it, unfortunately. But I do believe it's old. So, and that's a first. My first ever, like, fully intact pocket knife. You know, not damaged, not broke, split open, broken, nothing. Like, right there. There you go. This actually is a part of the other pocket knife that I'll get to in a bit. But yeah, it's one part of a pocket knife. A bent, what I believe to be horseshoe nail because of how short it is. Got some brass, a little bit of brass up here, copper scrap, brass. First, I found a Zippo lighter before, but never a case with the lighter in it. And you know what's crazy about this? I can take it out of the case. You might be able to see some of the words. The flash is on just so you can see a lot better and much more clear. But yeah, I took it out. I'm going to put it back inside the case after this video. But yep, the lighter's still attached. And the case, it's quite crusty on the inside, but believe it or not, it still opens and closes, minus a couple dings in it. But yep, my first ever Zippo lighter with the case that I can actually take out. So the more I find these, the more I'm going to collect them. But yep, that's a first ever Zippo lighter with the Garrett Ace 400. So there we go. Except this is an extraordinary find. I think back in the olden days, it's an old button. Maybe someone could tell me 1000% what it is. I'm able to make out words on the back that said this. I wrote it down. Made in France. I think 3 letters of a month. 16 and an 89. Now the reason why I wrote 1889 is because it could be as old as it is, because there's no steel, there's no magnetism, there's no zinc on it at all. You might not be able, you might make made in France if you take a better, examination on it. But it does have something at the top. 1689. I believe it's 1889. I believe it's an old grommet, I think. Antique grommet from 1889. If that is exactly what it is, or maybe someone can please help ID what this is, if they could. Like exactly what it's off of. Maybe an old dress or something. But it's not junk. It certainly is not junk. So, yeah, that's not a bad day. Nah, could have been better. And then we'll go to this one, because I don't know who in the right mind would lose a fully intact candle that still works. Unless someone was poaching late at night. Maybe somebody out there was trying to steal oranges late at night. Maybe the police or the authorities were trying to be like, oh, like they're watching, and then they're lighting a candle. This is my first ever full intact candle. And you know what's cool about it? I can unscrew it. I mean, I can unscrew it and take it apart. So, and screw it back in. It's not broken or nothing. There was a sticker on right there where that square line is that said "Made in India." Made in India. And it does say Israel on here. Yeah, right there. And some letters on it. I can't really ID. And that might be a date. That might be the date of how old this is. Now, I can't tell if this is antique or not. But I will say it's a bucket list. Whoever lost that candle trying to pick those oranges, thank you very much. That's a bucket list. That's the best thing I've found for that whole day. Very mangled up. It could be a rim to a picture frame, but I'm guessing by the shape and the size, it's actually a buckle plate front. Like it would go maybe around the waist at a guess. It could be what it is. You could see some really cool lines, a really cool design going around it on this side. No words on it, unfortunately. It seems like none of these have any words on it, just really cool detail. Very mangled up when I first found it. And it was kind of in that same row where I found that candle holder. So that's probably the best find of the day right there, those two items. First, lead washer. It is lead, no doubt about it. It's got a lot of white patina on it. Unusual. I think on this day I got $1.18 in clad. Just an old silly cartridge. No, I can't make out any detail on that. Old square nail. No doubt it is a square nail. That's a pretty cool piece of history. A duplicate key made of aluminium from National Key DIV, Cole National. Toronto, Canada. Yep, Canadian key. A modern General Motors key with plastic on it. But yeah, that might be very old, the washer, so I'm keeping that. Lead bullets, brass part, top brass bullet with the white patina lead in it. Just some brass scrap. Another grommet. Well, it could be something else, but I'm going to call it a grommet because it's got, you know, I thought it was a snap when I first thought looking at it, but then I heard back then they were also called grommets. This one also has a date on it. I wrote it down. I'm going to have to tell you what it says because you won't be able to see it. You will not, but I will show you the design on the front. It's got a crown on the top. It's got 3 flowers and a shield. I think it has like 2 or 3 stars going around the edges. Very poor shape though. But I wrote it down, so I said rivet because I have no idea what it is. CF something company, 1917. The 1917's right on my second finger right there. You might see a 1-7 and a 1-9. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but yeah, that is a World War I era grommet or button snap or something. Maybe someone can please tell me how old it is, you know, what it is, what it's off. It's not modern. It says the date 1917, so it's definitely like World War I era. So that's probably the really cool find of that day, next to the candle holder and buckle plate. So then we go to my better hunts. Well, I showed you like these three hunts here, and yeah. Now let's go to this. My first hunt, which would be at the top of the hill. I've already dated this before. It's a, I think it's a UMC Company number 12 Majestic, dated between 1904 and 1908. Still has the paper on it. This is the one that I dated before that I said was in horrible shape. The other one, this one's in much more better shape. And actually the WRA company, I looked it up, that actually it's Winchester Repeating Arms, not Rifle Associations like I thought. But yeah, it is a star, dated between 1884 and 1894, and it still has the material in it. That is pretty extraordinary. Silver-plated spoon bowl. I don't know where the handle part is, but that's heavy. It's old too. Old eyelet, antique eyelet for sure. 3 rivets, none have any designs on them. Not much clad. I think it's 61 cents. And this is one I've never found before, this shotgun head stamp. They only made it a few years. Number 12, U.S. Climax. They only dated this between 1923 and 1927. So it is old. Old. And this is a first. My first ever pocket knife with the design, with that, I'm able to read words on it. I was able to make out Dodson, D-O-D-S-O-N, and Manufacturing and Company. You might see some letters on there. On this side, you might see it. Dodson Manufacturing Company. These two go together. No doubt, these two do go together. I can't make out everything else. It's hard to date, but no doubt these two do go together. And I found a little tip of a bullet. This is a first. You won't believe it. Can you guess what it is? It's a brass mechanism part that is off of an old handsaw. Those old-fashioned handsaws that you use that are made of wood, that had rivets on it. It's all wood. They kind of sandwiched it in together. The company was manufactured in 1874. I looked it up. They're still in business to this day. Distin and Sons. I believe that's actually Philadelphia, but they can't fit the whole word in it. There's an H or something right there. I can't date it. It rang up like a clad quarter, and it was 6 inches down under an orange tree. Guess someone was using one of those old-fashioned handsaws and was trying to cut some of the limbs off, trying to pick the oranges, but it didn't work. And the, part of the handsaw. Remember those snaps that I found, I think it was a year or two ago? I found 2 snaps, or a little bit of brass riveted pieces. that I threw away because they were brittle. Those actually could have been part of the handsaw. And there's one piece missing, though. That's one with the eagle on it. And might be out there somewhere. At a guess, this is probably from like the 1930s. Maybe older, but it is brass. 6 inches down under an orange tree. That's first. Now this is a first rivet. It's a LS. LS means Levi Strauss. And there's an SF, San Francisco and Company. Says it on both sides. This rivet is actually, I looked it up, I believe it could be as old as between 1890 and 1922, which means it's well over 100 years old. And it's an old piece of history. Old piece of history. Old-fashioned snap rivet. And the best for last. 7.5 inches down, boom, 1902 Indian head penny. And this one still has Liberty on the headband. You might see Liberty on it. It's not uber good condition, but whenever you get Liberty on it, yeah, it shows. I've decided not to video these anymore unless it's like super old, like 1899 or earlier, or if it's a different coin like the V or the Barber or something extraordinary. But yeah, that's the first day, so yeah, that's a pretty good hunt. And then the last, I saved the best for last. The video of the title is there for a reason, so yeah. 21 cents on this day. That day was 61. This one's not very good, but who cares? Who cares? I found a lot of cool stuff, as you can tell. Got some brass copper scrap. Another one of these, a Nitro Club. UMC Company number 16 Nitro Club. Dated between 1892 and 1913. And actually looking it up, the prime rose, the ones that are brass with the rose on it, they've only manufactured those between 1900 and 1910. So this could be probably older. Could be 1899, maybe. Yeah. I'll just... Old eyelet with some lead attached to it. Some lead pieces. Could be from a bullet, at least a few of these. This, I believe, is a lead bale seal. No writing on it, unfortunately. Brass buckle. Could be off of a dog leash or collar, but it is brass. This is just scrap and junk, but Mom said that this could be off of maybe the inside of a drawer or something. It is brass, so lead tip of a bullet, brass. This, it could be dated between 1927 and 1938. I looked really hard, and I looked at some people saying it could be that old. So maybe. Here's a 308 rifle bullet. Dog tag with the Cindy phone number and address and stuff on it. But old-fashioned sergeant key. Brass. Probably could be from the 1950s. Maybe earlier, but yeah. A bucket list. First ever Canadian penny. 1982 copper. Slightly bent, but it's a first Canadian penny. Couple of rivets here. And here's the same type of rivet that I found on the first hunt. Again, the words look different almost, but I believe it's probably the same. Probably dated between 1890 and 1922. Looks like there's a pierce or something right there, like a pin. So, yeah. This could be like off of maybe an old locket or something. At a guess, it could be something super, super interesting, so I will keep that. Now this could be between 1878 and 1893. Remember that one that I dated, the Crispin one from 1872? This one is dated between 1878 and 1893. You may not see it, but it's a 45-70. I looked really hard for it too. But yes, it's a 45-70. It's the top of a cartridge, but, you know. This I've dated. It's a first. Western number 12 Field. It's got some steel in it. It's dated between 1914 and 1927. So it's old. And this one's quite decorative looking. This one's got some wave patterns on it. This is a first. Peters, number 12, Victor. This one is quite brittle, though. I'm going to be a little delicate with it. But look at that. It's got the prime, got the P and the prime right there. Dated between 1924 and 1930, so there's no doubt it's super old. And a bucket list. Now, 2 inches down, I dug a spill. Chinese spill. Old railroad town. The Orientals worked on the railroads back in the day. 2 Chinese coins, about 3 inches down, close proximity to one another. One has some base metal in it that could be steel, a little bit of steel, and this one's copper brass. Very flaking real bad, but I have been determined this is an 1800s Chinese coin. Now, the reason they have the square inside the hole, the reason they have the square hole in them is because they didn't have pockets back then. So you actually had to use the string around them. And they carried these all clamped together. So they carried it along. A lot of the Chinese workers carried these. This one I have been able to possibly date from the Qing dynasty, or G, ing, or Q apostrophe ing. Qing dynasty. Probably wrong. Probably an idiot looking this stuff up of the history, but they don't normally date these. The dates are completely different than, you know, how we use a U.S. coin. Don't forget I got a 1954 S wheat penny as well. Don't want to forget that. Now this one here, I found one almost identical to it online that said it's dated around 1636 till about 1911. Though I'm 99.999% certainty it's not from the 1600s. Probably from the 1890s at a guess. But, I mean, it's hard to tell. But, bucket list. Chinese coins. A coin spill. And a bucket list, like the title of the video. This, when I first pulled it out, it was black, so you couldn't even tell it was a ring. Like it was good or bad metal. And after cleaning it super hard, boom. Yeah, I broke it. But bucket list because it's my first silver ring at Prospect Park. It does say sterling on the where the clip was. It was 6 inches down, 6 inches. It's in really bad shape, very brittle. But I'm going to have to scrap it. I think it's supposed to show an orange tree with flowers or a tree with flowers around it. But yeah, it does. It's my first silver ring. Not only that, it's old. It is old. It says sterling on the inside. I was able to make out an IN, so no doubt. And the piece of resistance. am no doubt it is for sure real. There is such thing as 19 karat. I looked it up, or, you know, a good friend of mine, Sister Greer from church, helped look it up, and if it does exist, and it does, it is a 19 karat gold ring. The ring is real, not fake. When I first pulled it out, the pearl was already ruined, so I did not ruin it. It was already like that when I found it, so, but yeah, probably the best hunt is right here. So I won't be coming back until November. My next Roundup video will be Sylvan Park. So yeah, quite the longest Roundup video ever. And hope you guys like this video. Please be sure, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and share it all together. This is Blaze the Firewolf, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Goodbye now. Don't want to forget these, the harmonica reed and part off of an old accordion reed or some type of reed, but yeah. All right. Take care. Peace out. Have a good day, week, whenever, and catch you next time. Goodbye.